Hey guys! Oh, look at the crowns, look good. Happy Friday again. It's Friday, September 13th, Friday the 13th. Super excited to be with Candi Bryan and Catherine Clark, Miss and Mrs. Corporate America. Big shout out to Anissa for hooking this up. She's amazing.
Yes, she is.
But let us know you can hear us or see us. Give us a thumbs up. We always want to make sure. I did one show once where there was no sound. And people just still said hello and talked. Oh, okay, I got a heart. So there's some people on. Tim Putoff's on. What's up, brother Putoff? So I'm very excited to have you guys on. I haven't had I had Marita Brown on once. And of course, you guys probably already know this by now, but I'm a big fan of The Crown. I love a crown, a tiara. I mean, bring it on. I'm going to wear it. But it's so much more than that. And that's why I love to do these shows, because I think it's so important for people to understand it is so much more than just the crown. The crown's beautiful to look at, but there has to be so much more behind it. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So excited to have you guys here.
Excited.
All right, so people love origin story. They like to learn a little bit about you. They want to know, beautiful ladies with beautiful smiles. Shirley Stamper, you are right. They like to get to know a little bit about you. So we'll start with you. Tell us about you. This is Candi. No, this is Catherine.
Okay.
That's Candi. So we'll start with Catherine.
Okay. Hi. Well, I am Catherine Clark, Miss Corporate America 2019. Thank you for having me today. It's such a pleasure and honor to be here. So, it's been a journey. You know, my story from the crown to the crown. Actually, originally, I'm from a small country town called Campbellton, Florida. So I am a country girl.
You are a country girl.
Yes. And but I grew up in a small town and just moved here in 05 for school. I graduated from UCF.
Go Knights! I'm a Knight. Yeah,
woo, Knight girl. So, but it's just been I've loved the city of Orlando. Just been a great time here, and now as Miss Corporate America, it's just even taking my business, to the whole another level. So,
what were you studying? What you graduate with from UCF?
I graduated with a degree in communications, and I minored in nonprofit organization management.
Very cool. I like that. I have a master's in that.
Really?
Yeah, sort of similar.
Okay.
We didn't call it that back in the Stone Age, but it's sort of similar to that.
That's funny.
So that's awesome. All right, so tell us about you, Candi.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us on. This is really great and a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I am Candi Bryan, Mrs. Corporate America 2019.
Yes.
I am a Jersey girl at heart, but I reside in Osceola County, and I ran as Mrs. Osceola. I also graduated from UCF, so go Knights.
We got Knights in the house. I like it.
Absolutely. I recently became one of their business coaches, so I'm really excited to start that journey.
That's
and
so
also
cool.
got my MBA from the University of Phoenix.
Wow, MBA. Yeah, my master's is in the nonprofit, like I said earlier. And
That is so awesome.
whew, that's some good stuff. We didn't call it that back then. All right, so how does it come? Because obviously Mrs. married, Miss not married. How do you come to a pageant? Did you guys grow up in pageants? Because it's not really a pageant. Like, explain to them what this is. I mean, I always think everybody's looking at the crowns, I know.
Right.
Shanae Pooh says, hi, Catherine, hi, Candi.
Hi, Shanae.
Pew, I guess. Pew, I'm sorry. So how did you get to, what was the moment? Did you grow up doing competitive anything? Or what was the moment where you go, all right, I want to do this?
Actually, I used to compete. My mom would have me in any pageant she could enter me into, and which I never won.
That's okay.
Funny enough, until like my junior year of high school, and I won first runner-up. But that's the closest I ever came to the crown. So this journey has been quite significant for me. I used to do pageantry, but I just love it. I love it. But it's more than just about pageantry. It's really a business-friendly competition that honors corporate executives and entrepreneurs.
I love that.
And so that's.
And you get to wear a sash and a crown, though.
Yeah,
I mean, come on. There needs to be a Mr. Corporate America. I would love to be that. Maybe I'll just buy that. All right, how about you? Did you grow up in pageants, Candi?
I did not. I pretty much have been in corporate America doing in the same company for 18 years.
Wow.
So when I heard about this, I immediately thought, well, I think I deserve a sash and crown after 18 years.
Don't we all?
Yes. No, but I've been with a wonderful company. I work in business sales for Sprint. And I heard about Miss Corporate America, and I thought, wow, this is great. They celebrate women in business, remarkable women in business at that. But they go beyond beauty. That's actually our hashtag. And they look at,
I love that hashtag.
Cool
Hashtag Beyond Beauty.
Beyond Beauty. You compete and you do a full out interview with a panel.
Yeah.
You come, you network with women, and then you also get to dress up on that competition night and walk that stage. So
what's the competition like? So when you apply for it, obviously they're, like you said, they're trying to not maybe honor women, but get women involved.
Yeah.
Somebody who's already in corporate America, hence the name.
Mm-hmm.
And so what is that like? What's the process like? You guys have to fill out applications, go through interviews to get to compete. Amy Garrison says, "Hey everyone, you look beautiful, ladies."
Hi.
Was it a lot of verbal, written combination? Tell us a little bit about the process.
Yeah, the process is it's very basic. You would just go to the mscorporateamerica.com website and you would apply. And actually, we are taking new applicants. So you could be the next Miss Corporate America. It's just, we need basic information, your resume, headshots, and so we just want to get to know you a little better throughout the application process. But it's very simple, yeah.
And so who would apply, Candi? Would it be so? Because you have Mrs. and Miss, you're distinguished, but how many years experience, what would they have to have done? Are they working obviously in corporate? Can they be an entrepreneur, a business owner? How does that work?
Great question. We also have a category we didn't mention, which is mompreneur. I mean, how many moms
Mompreneur, I love it.
How many moms out there just need to be celebrated? But it would be anyone. If you are a business owner, or if you've been in corporate America, and really there's not a limit on how much experience you have, but if you have something to come and share, expertise, you've got to come and compete and just get that chance to have a platform to talk about your expertise, your business, your brand. Yeah. So it's really open.
So it's interesting. So it's different. You're talking about your brand and what you're doing. Yeah. It's not necessarily like a lot of the other pageants. Charity. They talk a lot about what their charity is.
Right.
You all are talking. You're really trying to develop and empower the corporate side, the business side, the CEO, CFO, CIO, marketing person. You're really trying to develop or at least promote what you're doing in business. So what do you all do? I heard Candi say Sprint, 18 years as sales, and then how about you, Catherine?
I am actually a creative writer and a poet. I'm a spoken word artist. So I offer writing services called Love Notes for You. So I write for special events, birthdays, weddings, anniversaries. That's just a little niche of what I do. And so it's all inclusive of you received your engraved, poem, you received the PDF and a voiceover to utilize at your event.
Very cool.
That's part of what I do. And I also have a nonprofit 501c3 as well.
Oh, you do? So what's your 501c3?
It's called Beauty Box, Inc. We bring awareness on human trafficking. But our ultimate mission is, of course, we know men are trafficked, but our target group are ladies, are women. So we provide social rehabilitation services to women.
Interesting. So I served, I'm currently on the advisory board for the Lifeboat Project, which is human trafficking, and I served on the UNICEF board. And so that is a near and dear to my heart because obviously Orlando, unfortunately, is a big target and a giant place. I love that you're able to have those conversations, though. Yeah. So do you, Candi, I'll ask you, are you allowed to promote your business? What does your reign look like?
Absolutely, and I'm glad you asked that. We're coming up on Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I'm really big on sharing my story. I say often that I went from cancer to queen. So I'm a stage 3 breast cancer survivor. Wow. As of 2017. I was diagnosed in 2016, but I went through the mastectomy, the double mastectomy, the chemo, lost all my hair, radiation, the whole process. And just to get up on that stage and have the sisterhood now, but also to get to tell my story and to be an advocate for going to get your mammogram. Early detection is really the reason why I'm sitting here today. I launched a podcast. It's an inspirational podcast for women called Good Morning Ladies.
Love it.
And we're at goodmorningladies.org. And I wrote that while I was recovering for people who needed healing in any area of your life, but really I had a heart for the survivors. And so that's my platform, is awareness, and I launched a nonprofit because I'm trying to follow in the steps of all the other
I love it.
all the other
Empowerment, that's what it's about, right?
Every competitor at the competition this year had a nonprofit on the side.
Yeah.
And so Renew stands for Reaching Every Need for Every Woman, and we're focused on women and children in Osceola County.
That's so cool. So what do you do? Like, you get up, I think people watch the show a lot, and a lot of their comments later on, maybe not while we're live, they'll say, Ted, I've got a passion too, but I just don't know how you all get up and do it and still do everything that you normally do, because we all have to pay bills. We have to, but they're always asked, how do you find the time? And I want you guys to respond to that. Mine is, well, how do you not? You have to just find the time. I don't know how else to explain it to people. Right. So when you're trying to be Miss or Mrs. Corporate America, you have your 501c3s, your charities, your platform, and your business. And then, I mean, don't forget family and friends, a social life. How do you all balance all of that together?
Do you want to go?
She's like, I don't want to touch that one with a 10-foot pole.
It's a challenge, but you do have to be intentional. Intentionality is everything. Utilizing the calendar. My phone is like my best friend.
Mine too.
You just have to have intentionality, and also not to be afraid to make certain moves. Sometimes you have to take a step back so you can take a step forward.
Right.
So if that means making a career move or shift so that you can pursue your purpose and your dreams, don't be afraid to do that. I'm an entrepreneur, so that's really my story. Like, sometimes you got to keep your focus on the prize.
Agreed.
Yeah.
How about you, Candi?
Well, I think you do have to make time. This has forced me to be the best time manager I've
That's
ever
so true.
been. I have a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
She's amazing. She keeps me going. She really does energize me. But ultimately, I know that there's purpose in my life. And so I've really been focused on, how do I reach that goal? Being around other women who set goals and have crushed their goals, and I want to be like them, so I surround myself with those people, and I learn how they navigate being a wife, being a mom, working in corporate America, having your business. And it's not easy by any means, but that is where I get my fulfillment. And I know a lot of folks are sitting back feeling unfulfilled, and being a part of MCA has absolutely changed my perspective on everything and given me that push that I really needed.
Isn't that awesome? I think a lot of people, you're right, they sit back and they just sit and wonder, well, I want to do something, but I don't know how.
Right.
Or they're surrounded by people who are naysayers. I always tell people, you've got to get out of that. You have to divorce that. You have to get rid of it, cut the cancer out.
Yeah.
And I feel like once you begin to surround yourself with positive people, then the changes really do come fast. If you cut some of those people out that are naysayers, or if you take the leap and surround yourself with positive people. But there's also a lot of people that question me, and I want you guys to answer this if you can. They talk about, well, I barely have time for my own family. I can't possibly do anything for my community or for other people. So I always say, well, I just don't know I personally don't know how you live like that. I think that for me, I'm fulfilled in many ways because I love to do so much for the community.
Yeah.
It gives me back so much. But how do you guys feel about that? What do you think about all of the charitable work that you do versus, because sometimes you have to choose, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes stuff gets sacrificed in order to do things for other people.
Right.
What do you guys think?
Sure. I had to learn how to balance in the beginning of this process because I knew that there's so many things that I'm trying to do all at once. And you talked about fulfillment. I really don't feel my best self. I don't feel alive if I'm not giving back. And a lot of times when you're trying to get to another place in life, you have to give. You have to plant seeds, you have to build relationships before you can really get to that next level. And so it's kind of a stair step.
Yeah.
You have to be able to be out there, be a giver, pour into other people's lives, and it comes back to you. So it's almost essential that if you want to be successful, you have to build good relationships, pour into people. You have to volunteer. One thing that MCA has us doing, I think, on a weekly basis, we are volunteering our time with organizations, going to be a part, going to speak, helping set up. So it's a principle, I think, in a law in life that you have to give, and it comes back to you.
I love that.
I agree.
How about you, Kat?
I agree. Yeah, giving back is, I saw it modeled firsthand by my mom, and she's always a giver. gave everything, her heart, her time, her mind. And so she really instilled those principles inside of me. And I do a lot of work with the Boys and Girls Clubs, teaching dance fitness and Zumba.
Nice.
And so it's so amazing to be able to go out in the community or just walking in the local Walmart or Publix and they're saying, Miss Clark, you know.
Oh, I love
it's,
that.
it's,
That's awesome.
I mean, it just touches my heart when they just run up to me and give me these huge hugs. So I can see the fulfillment aspect, the benefit that comes out of it. So like Candi said, it is essential for everyday life. It is essential for ultimate fulfillment, because you can have all the money in the world, you can have all the resources, the right connections, the right network, but still be empty. And so I refuse to live a life that's empty. I want to die empty. I want to live full and die empty.
Yes.
But I refuse to live a life just being unsatisfied.
I love that. I
That's
think
good.
that's so
Yeah.
good. So because you're right, I love the die empty. Because then you've given everything you can possibly
Exactly.
give, and you're not holding on. I think a lot of people hold on to things forever because they're afraid of letting go, and I think
Yeah.
so many talents and gifts get wasted
Yeah.
because people are just afraid to share their ideas, to be collaborative. Being collaborative is
Yes.
so important
Yeah.
in our world, and I think that's how you make it to the next step exponentially. You collaborate with people, you bring your different gifts together, and stop being afraid to share them.
Yeah.
What about the end of the pageant? When is your reign over? Technically.
Technically, I believe it's the day of the next competition,
Okay,
which
so-
will be in June 2020.
Okay, so you've got time, you've got stuff
We
going
have
on.
some time, yeah.
I love it.
We're running.
And
We're
so
running.
what's been like the most surprising thing for you? Because you said you get involved, you have volunteer hours you're supposed to do. I'm sure there's got to be some sort of travel involved. I mean, this is really an ambassador program, an outreach program that you all do.
Yeah.
You're really trying to help and empower not just women, but in general, the
Right,
community.
right.
So when you go out in the community, has there been anything that surprised you? Anything that you're like, wow, I would have never have known that if, we've got a crown question, if I would never have known that if I hadn't been Miss Corporate America or Mrs. Corporate America.
Well, I'm laughing inside because the funniest thing that's happened is walking into a place with a sash and a crown, and everybody smiles at you.
Yeah.
They want to come up and ask you about the sash, and it actually has opened doors to not only network, but really just to get to know people.
Yeah.
And we're so in a rush world, and we kind of, when we're in a rush, we kind of have that serious face on, and we're just going for it. But it makes people stop and have conversation,
Yes,
and that's been amazing. The touching experience that I've had so far is I was able to learn about an organization I didn't know about. Someone saw the sash and crown and said, would you come speak to the foster children in our organization? And I got a chance to share my story as an orphan. I was adopted. I was orphaned as a baby, and it was just an opportunity I never would have had. Didn't know about this organization. It was so amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. How about you?
I had this encounter. There was this little girl I had taught over the summer at this camp, at this church camp. And so this little girl, she walks in and she just wraps her arms around me. She said, "My name is Catherine. What's your name?" I said, "My name is Catherine too." Like I just
love
became like
that.
her
That's awesome.
fan. But it touched me so much because when I was a little girl, I was ashamed of my name because I was like, "Oh, Catherine is a seasoned person's name." And
How interesting. See, I think it's a regal name.
it is, but I had to grow into
Sure,
it and mature
sure, yeah.
because at the time I didn't understand the significance of my name. Growing up, family called me Vicky. My middle name is Victoria, so people will call me Vicky. So I'm in kindergarten writing Vicky as my name. So it wasn't years ago until I found out the meaning of my name. And when I told someone about it, they said, "That is who you are. That is who you are. You need to walk into that."
I love that.
And so once I realized what my name meant, I'm walking into it, walking
love
into
that.
Catherine.
All right, so Amy, I'm going to ask your question in a minute. Lamont Gwynn wanted to know how your post-photo shoot went. You know Lamont? Lamont, I don't know why you asked that, but
Yeah. Hi,
I do know why you asked that.
Photographer. So the photos that you have posted with this podcast of this show, it actually was Lamont.
Lamont's amazing,
Yeah.
right? It's a small world. Lamont and I work very closely together. He's awesome. He's awesome photographer.
Yeah.
And then Amy asked, how do you put on a smile and a crown and your sash, I think, when you know you're not having a great day and your busy life and hectic, and you know that when you wear that, people expect, I'm reading more into what you said, Amy, people expect you to act and behave a certain way. They don't want somebody wearing a crown who's got a frown on their face.
Right.
So how do you all balance that? How when you're out and about, you have to be on, right? And the minute you put the sash and the crown on, even though you're on all the time. I know that. Me too. I get it. I don't wear a sash and a crown, but it's the same thing. But when you actually physically put that on, people have an expectation of you.
Right.
So how do you all handle that when you're not having the best day? Because we all don't have great days. They're amazing women, but it doesn't mean their days are always perfect.
Right.
So how do you do that? And that was Amy's question.
Okay. Hi, Amy. Actually, no, Amy.
She's awesome. She got great questions.
Yes. Really, honestly, I have to start off my day with prayer, reading scripture, because, beauty comes from the inside out. Joy comes from the inside out. And there are days that you don't feel like smiling.
Right.
You receive that bad news or whatever it may be. Things may not be going well with your family or, health, whatever it could be. But I just have to keep my mind and meditate on what's good. Meditate on my Heavenly Father. And that helps me, honestly, that's part of my personal story, to make sure that I can shine that light and be my true, authentic self, even days when I don't feel like smiling.
I love that. Very good. How about you, Candi?
I think I had to learn that I've always had the sash and crown.
Yeah, so I like that. That's good. That's
and
good too.
This
Very
has
good.
really brought me out of my shell. I used to be an introvert when I was younger. I was the only child, and I was very shy. I had a lot of insecurities. And as I grew older, and really when I became a mom of a little girl, I thought, I've got to be an example.
Wow.
And so I really had to learn what self-love really is. It's learning that I'm already empowered. I'm already victorious. I stand on my faith. Like Catherine, I start the morning with my time with God, and it fills me up. It lets me know that if I didn't have this sash and crown, I still actually do have the crown. And it gives me a sense of walking in victory and coming at everything from a perspective of always being victorious. And even in the worst situation, and I've obviously I've walked through some things in these last couple of years, and I have a new lease on life just from that experience.
Isn't that wonderful? You can go through life and know that I'm also a man of faith, child of God, no matter what.
Yeah.
So then everything else kind of, okay, well, I'm going to be victorious no matter what you try to throw at me. I love that thought process. I think it's so important to have that kind of, for me, faith is huge too, so I start my days out that way too. So I 100% understand, because just because we're having a good time here, and just because I don't have a crown right now, so I'm going to change that a little bit. I need one. Those are so beautiful though. You still have to continue to go on, and you can't let the other stuff get you down. I'm not saying it's easy, but I also want you to know that just because we're up here having a good time now doesn't mean that we also don't have challenges in our life on a daily basis. We have stuff that throws us off, bad news, like Catherine said. There can be anything going on in your life, and you just have to continue. I like what Candi said. You're still wearing the crown and the sash. So it's still there, and you just have to kind of push through. You see my crown? Yes, Shanae. I wore one last night. Somebody posted some pictures of me in one last night. They're like, "Will you wear that, Ted?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll wear that anytime." I think I brought it home too, which is crazy. My Uber driver didn't know what to do with me because I wore it on the way home. All right, so we're gonna share. We already tagged Catherine and Candi. We already tagged Miss and Mrs. Corporate America, the page. Again, we're going to give a big shout out to Anissa for setting this up. She's amazing.
Thank you.
And if you want to reach out to them, you want to learn more about the organization, learn more about becoming or wanting to become Miss or Mrs. Corporate America or Mompreneur. There's a website, and we're going to share all of that information after the show. So I do always ask my friends, my guests, when they come on, I think mentorship is so important. And I think it's so good to try to be a positive influence or help people, give them a hand up. So I always like to ask if you can give a shout out to a mentor in your life, somebody who helped you along the way. Could be somebody that's helping you now or helping you in the past that made a difference.
Definitely. I have a few.
That's okay. Say a few.
But Takora Pori was a huge blessing to my life. I remember meeting her in college, and that she really encouraged me to walk into womanhood. And also my pastors, Pastor Duma and Emmeline Alphonse. I mean, they were there for so many times of my life, the passing of my father, and they were just there. They were just there to pray with me, whatever I needed. So I'm so grateful. The most genuine and authentic people you would ever meet. So
love it.
Yeah.
All right. How about you, Candi?
Wow, that's perfect timing. Cecily Wilson.
I love her. Cecily's been on the show.
Awesome.
She's amazing.
She
She's
is.
amazing.
I like Catherine. I have quite a few. And thank you, Cecily, for being such an amazing example in my life of strength and overcoming so much. Courtney Shaw, she has been an ambassador with Miss Corporate America, and she's been a friend of mine for a while now, and I'm just thankful. If it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't have competed, actually. So between her and Cecily, who did my training for this pageant, I thank both of them. And then I have a sister, a survivor, Vanessa Eccles. She's been a mentor to me and helping me to start my nonprofit and just being a friend and really being an inspiration, because she's got her nonprofit and she's changing women's lives every day. So thank you all.
Awesome. Well, you guys were a joy to have on. Thank you so much. I love to listen to people share their stories, and I love the insights that you guys gave. It was beautiful, very sincere. Somebody said that earlier. I think it was Amy, because that's what people want. They crave authenticity and vulnerability, and they want you to be able to share because they want to take a leap too, but they just don't know how. So this is why this platform is so wonderful, to be able to have these two amazing human beings come on the show and talk about their passion. Thank you guys for being on. We love you guys. Happy Friday. We'll tag both of them again. Reach out to them for anything. Well, maybe not anything, but you know what I'm talking about. You can tell that they're open and that they want to help, and that's such a blessing in our world. So you guys are amazing. We love you.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon.
Bye,
guys.